The learning objectives of today's session are: at the end of the session, you will be able to answer, describe about metabolic alkalosis, then to describe respiratory acidosis, and to describe the respiratory alkalosis. If any you want to describe any acid base disorder out of 4, any acid base disorder, you can give answer on following headings. First, we have to define the condition. Either there is a change in primary change in metabolic or respiratory component, then their causes, in which condition particular acid base disorder occurs. If there is any types of particular acid base disorder, then you have to mention and describe their types. After that, you may describe about the compensatory mechanism, which type of the compensatory mechanism occurs in particular acid base disorder, either renal or respiratory or buffer system. Then you also mention the clinical features, and lastly the laboratory findings of blood gas analysis. That blood gas analysis mainly pH level, what is the normal level of pH, either increase or decrease, level of bicarbonate concentration, that represents the metabolic component, level of the partial pressure of carbon dioxide, that represents the carbonic acid, that is a denominator in the salt acid ratio. There you to must mention about these three laboratory findings. And if there is a treatment, if you know about the treatment, you can mention. So in these headings you can describe any acid base disorder. So let's start our second acid base disorder, metabolic alkalosis. So how to first component is the to define, how to define metabolic alkalosis. Now as it is a alkalosis, pH is obviously greater than 7.45, and as it is a metabolic alkalosis, primary disturbance in the metabolic component, that is a bicarbonate. So bicarbonate is a base. So what should be the level of bicarbonate in metabolic alkalosis? Here also the basic condition is increase. So to define metabolic alkalosis, primary excess of bicarbonate concentration, that is a definition of metabolic alkalosis. Now, how this metabolic alkalosis can occur in the body? Either if excess base is added from outside into the blood, or either base excretion is defective, or either acid is removed out, some of acid is removed out from the body, it can lead to the metabolic alkalosis. Mainly two routine causes, general causes of metabolic alkalosis. One is severe vomiting, or gastric aspiration. In certain conditions, gastric fluid is taken for the either treatment purpose or there is a diagnostic purpose. So in both conditions there is a loss of acids which are present normally in the stomach. So there is a loss of acid is occurs, so it leads to the metabolic alkalosis. If loss of acid is occurs, then bicarbonate concentration becomes relatively high because of loss of the acids. Now we all know that in stomach the acid is present, hydrochloric acids. So if there is a severe vomiting is occurs, means whatever content in the stomach, they will be goes out through the mouth. And in gastric aspiration also we are taking the stomach fluid. So along with acid, that is a H plus proton ions, we are also removing the chloride. So in this type of the is alkalosis, also known as a hypochloremic alkalosis because chloride is also excreted out from the body. So there is a hypochloremic alkalosis. Now, what is the relation between the potassium level and what is relation between potassium level and alkalotic condition? In acidotic condition, we have seen that if there is an increase in H plus ion, this H plus ion exchange with the potassium which are present intracellularly in high concentration. So there is a hyperkalemia occurs. But here in the alkalosis, what happened? H plus concentration in the extracellular fluid is decreased. So this extracellular fluid, to maintain the H plus level normally, they will exchange the potassium ion with the intracellular fluid. Like in the kidney tubular cell, this kidney tubular cell, they will conserve the H plus ion. Rather than they are excreting, they will conserve the H plus ion and they will excrete the potassium ion for exchange with sodium absorption. So there is a loss of the potassium ion occurs. So decreased level of potassium occurs and that condition is known as hypokalemia. So generally alkalosis is always associated with hypokalemia. What is type of the disturbance occurs in the metabolic alkalosis? So in metabolic alkalosis, as it is a alkalosis, pH is high and it is a metabolic. So what happens to the metabolic component when pH is high? It occurs due to excess of bicarbonate. So this is the primary change. So if this bicarbonate in Anderson-Hasselbalch equation in the numerator in the salt acid ratio. So if the numerator becomes high, what happened to the salt acid ratio? Normal salt acid ratio is 20:1. But if the numerator becomes high than the normal, so obviously this ratio becomes high, more than 20. So now there is a secondary change. As a compensation, body tries to maintain the ratio again towards the normal, that is 20:1. So pH also decrease down from increased condition to normal, that is 7.4. So body requires as a respiratory regulation, as the primary component is increase in the side, the secondary change in the denominator, that is carbonic acid, which is synthesized from the carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is regulated by lung. So obviously carbon dioxide will be retained by the lung by hypoventilation. So there is an increase in the denominator, that is partial pressure of carbon dioxide and thus carbonic acid. So this ratio will goes down from the increase in the 20. So it goes down towards the 20 for the normal. So this is the compensation in the same side again. Now, which are the types of the metabolic alkalosis? There are the two types of the metabolic alkalosis: chloride responsive and chloride resistant. Now, what are the different features of chloride responsive and chloride resistant metabolic alkalosis? So these are the causes of metabolic alkalosis. Also differentiation between the chloride responsive and chloride resistant alkalosis. Now chloride responsive alkalosis, it means if in this condition, if you are giving the chloride from outside of the body, then this alkalosis become responded and it goes to the normal. But in resistant condition, even if you give the chloride, there is a no response in the alkalosis to the normal side. Which are the causes of chloride responsive alkalosis? Mainly two causes, that is removal of the gastric secretion due to prolonged vomiting or nasogastric aspiration or sometimes upper GI obstruction, that leads to the removal of the acid along with chloride. So if you use the chloride from outside, and also there is a how to determine these two different types of the alkalosis, chloride responsive or chloride resistance. In that condition, you have to measure the urine chloride level. If urine chloride level is less than 10 millimole per liter, if urine chloride contains less than 10 millimole per liter, the condition is chloride responsive alkalosis. If it is greater than 10 millimole per liter, it is a chloride resistant alkalosis. Now, what changes occurs in the chloride responsive alkalosis? Is there is a removal of the GI fluid. There is a hypovolemia occurs in the body. So, along with there is a loss of chloride ion and hydrogen ions. Now, along with there is a potassium ion is also lost from the extracellular fluid, because as there is a hydrogen ion is decreased in alkalotic condition, there is a redistribution between the extracellular fluid and the intracellular fluid for the H plus and potassium. So potassium ion will goes from extracellular fluid to the intracellular side, and H plus from intracellular comes to the extracellular fluid to maintain the H plus level inside the blood. So there is a hypovolemia with loss of the chloride H and the potassium ions. Because of this loss, now again to maintain the level of certain osmolar substance, to maintain the maintain the volume of the blood, there is a kidney will tries to reabsorb more and more sodium. So yes, sodium is a osmolar substance that you know about. It is a osmolar substance. It can increase the volume of the blood. So increased reabsorption of the sodium occurs, and sodium, as it is a cation, if it is reabsorbed simultaneously, another anion should also be reabsorbed to maintain the electrical neutrality of the cell. So sodium is reabsorbed along with either bicarbonate ion or either chloride ion. But here loss of the hydrogen and chloride now only. So because chloride is now reabsorbed with the sodium. So there is now only loss of hydrogen or potassium ions. Now as chloride is absorbed along with the sodium by this condition to maintain the volume of the extracellular fluid, urine chloride is low. So that's why we found less than 10 millimole per liter of urine chloride in chloride responsive alkalosis. And why it is known as responsive? If you administer the sodium chloride in the as a intravenously, they will responded to normal side. So there is an improvement in the condition occurs. So it is also known as volume responsive. Now discuss about chloride resistance. In this condition, there is a no loss of acid from the GI, but it occurs due to certain another pathological condition, like either there is a excess of mineralocorticoids like aldosterone, either there is a glucocorticoid excess, either there is a Cushing syndrome, adrenal hyperaldosteronism, adrenal tumor like condition. In this condition, there is a defective renal chloride reabsorption. So there is a urine chloride is high because chloride cannot be reabsorbed. Here, as it is a this condition, they will lead to the increased volume inside the blood. So there is a no needs to reabsorb the sodium, and if sodium is not reabsorbed, chloride did not reabsorb. So there is a defective renal chloride reabsorption. So here chloride urine contains more chloride, as it is more than 10 millimole per liter. Here there is a sometimes if there is a loss of H plus ion in the alkalosis, so there is a, if sodium is retained, if body wants to retain sodium, then it will exchange with the hydrogen and potassium ions in the renal tubules. So potassium is also excreted out, and this condition is volume in responsive. If you use the sodium chloride, it is not the improvement in condition will not occur. So here it requires to treat this cause only. That is either mineralocorticoid excess condition like you to treat this Cushing syndrome or adrenal tumor, and you also found hypertension in this type of the alkalosis because all this leads to high hypervolemia and it leads to the increased blood pressure. So hypertension is deciding factor also to define either it is chloride responsive or chloride resistant alkalosis. Other than this type of the alcohol causes, there are the two other causes like loop diuretics administration and exogenous base administration. What loop diuretics will do is they are the diuretics. Loop means loop of Henle. They will leads to the increase removal of fluid from the loop of Henle, that is loop diuretics, that will increase the urinary volume. So it blocks the reabsorption of sodium also, potassium also and chloride also because they can reabsorb through these different parts of the loop of the Henle. So here is a compensatory mechanism what the body will try. In this, aldosterone secretion will be increased because as the loop diuretics will do sodium, potassium and chloride excretion. So body as a compensatory mechanism, aldosterone will secreted from the renal tubules and it will, as we all know that what aldosterone will do, it will reabsorb the sodium and if the sodium is reabsorbed, there is a potassium can also in exchange with sodium absorbs reabsorption, potassium is excreted out because here hydrogen is already at low level of hydrogen in alkalosis condition. So in place of hydrogen, potassium is exchanged with the sodium reabsorption. Now last cause exogenous base. If we are administering the base from outside, like in case of the certain condition intravenous bicarbonate, massive blood transfusion is given because it contains more of citrate that is used as a anticoagulant. If we are giving more amount of the antacids, that leads to the milk alkali syndrome and sodium citrate is overload. This all leads to the increased base in the blood. That leads to what change occurs. So because of this condition, excess base enters in the body, or other than this condition, some metabolism leads to increased generation of the bicarbonate. That can leads to the exogenous base is a cause of metabolic alkalosis. So these are the different causes of metabolic alkalosis. Now third portion is the compensation. How there is a compensation occurs in metabolic alkalosis. So as there is a in metabolic alkalosis, primary disturbance is increase in the bicarbonate, that is numerator. So as a compensation, what the lung will do, they will also leads to increase in the denominator. So there is a ratio comes towards the normal to the 20. So how this CO2 will be increased in the blood? Only by decrease their excretion through expiration. So here what the lung will do? Lung in the first respiratory center, they will depressed by the high pH, that is in the metabolic. So they leads to the hypoventilation, expiration and respiration will be decreased. So there is a retention of the carbon dioxide in the blood. So there is an increased level of H2CO3 and this ratio will comes down to 20:1. So there is a hypoventilation as a respiratory compensation. Now what happens in the renal compensation is there is a increase in the base and decrease in the acid. Renal will do increase conservation of the H plus and it will excrete more and more base, that is bicarbonate. So that is a renal compensation. Now which type of the clinical features you may found in metabolic alkalosis? One is if the pH is more than 7.55, that will lead to characteristic feature, it will increase the neuromuscular activity. So there is a uncontrolled movements of the body may occur. Then tetany like symptoms, that is abnormal spasm or muscle spasm in the hands and the feet. Why this occurs? Because in metabolic acidosis there is a pH goes to the high, alkaline pH occurs, and in alkaline pH, this alkaline pH favors the increased binding of calcium to the protein. If the calcium is more and more calcium bind to the protein, there becomes bounded or conjugated calcium. Total calcium is normal here, but as the ionized calcium bound to the protein, there is a decreased level of ionized calcium, that is a active calcium, or they mainly takes part in the different reactions. So there is a abnormal spasm of the muscle will happen and increase neuromuscular activity because of decreased level of ionized calcium, and this may leads to tetany like symptoms. So these are the main clinical features of metabolic alkalosis. Regarding the treatment, we have seen that it must require to treat the underlying cause. We have to find out there is a underlying cause, what is underlying cause is there, and we have to treat the underlying cause. That will help us to treat the metabolic alkalosis condition. Then as there is a potassium is depleted because there is a exchange redistribution of hydrogen and potassium ions, there is a hypokalemia occurs. So there is a, along with treatment of the underlying cause, we have to give potassium administration. So this completes metabolic alkalosis.